Here's to the lucky ones, the survivors, the rescues. They are not Chihuahuas nor Shih Tzus. They're not beagles nor bulldogs. But they need just as much love and care and a good home. Some may have unknown histories, and most have troubled pasts. But what matters now is their future. So if you have the courage and the patience, the heart and the home, there is a rescue who needs you. Because when you adopt a rescue, you help change a life. And don't be surprised if that life turns out to be yours. Here's to the lucky ones, the survivors, the rescues. They are not Chihuahuas nor Shih Tzus. They're not beagles nor bulldogs. But they need just as much love and care and a good home. Some may have unknown histories, and most have troubled pasts. But what matters now is their future. So if you have the courage and the patience, the heart and the home, there is a rescue who needs you. Because when you adopt a rescue, you help change a life. And don't be surprised if that life turns out to be yours. Here's to the lucky ones, the survivors, the rescues. They are not Chihuahuas nor Shih Tzus. They're not beagles nor bulldogs. But they need just as much love and care and a good home. Some may have unknown histories, and most have troubled pasts. But what matters now is their future. So if you have the courage and the patience, the heart and the home, there is a rescue who needs you. Because when you adopt a rescue, you help change a life. And don't be surprised if that life turns out to be yours. Here's to the lucky ones, the survivors, the rescues. They are not Chihuahuas nor Shih Tzus. They're not beagles nor bulldogs. But they need just as much love and care and a good home. Some may have unknown histories, and most have troubled pasts. But what matters now is their future. So if you have the courage and the patience, the heart and the home, there is a rescue who needs you. Because when you adopt a rescue, you help change a life. And don't be surprised if that life turns out to be yours.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to episode 3 of Passion Project's International Homeless Animals Day 2020, Trace 101. So, I've had such a long, long day today with all the preparations for this Sunday's concert, and I hope the teaser video was already more than enough to excite everyone and block off 8 p.m. this Sunday let's all come together. Let's all come together to hear the voices of all these talented artists, all for the voiceless animals. So yeah, I think we're all good to go and ready to start for tonight. We have such a very interesting and insightful topic tonight. But yeah, here at Passion Project, before we start our webinar, we always start with a quick prayer. So Heavenly Father, thank you for tonight. The weather's not so good here, but please take control. We hope that there will be no technical difficulties and that everyone's safe and sound. We lift up to you, Lord, our speakers for tonight. Please, may you be their voice in inspiring more people to be kind to animals. And I lift up to you the whole Passion Project team, all our volunteers, all of the donors, um, everyone reaching out to us to help and inspire us to do more for the animals. And most importantly, I lift up to you all of the homeless animals tonight, today, each and every day. Lord, please protect them, provide for them, and just continue to use each and every one of us to be your instrument to stop animal cruelty, to promote kindness, and inspire more people to adopt and give a home to the animals. So in Jesus' name we pray, amen. So again, good evening everyone. My name is Malu and I'm the founder of Passion Project. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight to listen to all of our cries and then all of our strives to create a better world for the animals. So here, I guess the whole pandemic has really exhausted each and every one of us. But I'd like to speak on behalf of all the animal advocates, all of the shelter owners, all of the rescuers. I know you guys are very, very tired already. Passion Project receives probably 50 or more reports every day. And probably yung mga report regarding animal cruelty, parang nag-double siya nitong pandemic. We don't understand why, but probably because people are getting hungry, naaburido siguro yung mga tao. And of course, kawawa yung mga animals because, even people who are getting ayuda are already struggling. All the more these animals na, wala naman masyadong projects for the animals. But of course, we remain grateful that more and more people now are stepping up for the homeless animals, for the voiceless. So, would like to share probably some of the very disturbing reports that we have been getting lately. Kami mismo parang hindi namin alam anong gagawin namin para ma-distract lang kami kasi sobrang dami talaga yung mga reports na nakukuha namin every day. And sorry already for the graphic images, but this is really what's happening right now. Sobrang dami po yung nakukuha namin na messages. I'm sure you're already quite familiar with. Ang daming mga dog meat trade reports din na nakukuha namin. I guess that's also because, wala nang makain yung mga tao. So, they already resort to dog meat. I guess you've already seen this one also, yung report about sa mga, grabe talaga the animal cruelty and pananakit na reports na nakuha namin every day. And I guess, one of the, yung pinaka-mainit din na report, was the one in CBO. I don't know if you guys remember it, but, there's just so many animal cruelty cases, left and right talaga. And we at Passion Project, you have no idea how much we want to accommodate all of the cases. You have no idea how much we want to help each and every one of you asking help from us, but we want you to understand that, there's a whole process for it. We're not lawyers. Um, we're not the justice system. We're not the police also. And I think the problem that we see is that hindi kasi clear sa mga tao kung saan ba magre-report. People don't know who to report to. People don't know kung tama ba na humingi ng tulong sa barangay or sa police. Sino ba yung dapat managot? What is the process? Ano nga ba yung proseso kung gusto mag-file ng report? Kung may nakita ka na kapitbahay mo na sinaktan yung aso, ano ba yung gagawin? And I guess too many still don't realize and don't know that we already have an existing Animal Welfare Act. Kasi ang dami, you'd see on Facebook na sana may batas tayo dito sa Philippines, blah, 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 all of those things. But then, we already have an existing Animal Welfare Act. But I think the problem is just that it's not properly implemented. And again, like I mentioned earlier, hindi rin talaga alam ng mga tao din kung anong gagawin. So people resort to Facebook. Sa Facebook nagre-report kasi hindi alam. And this is why tonight's episode is very, very insightful and very interesting because we will talk about that. We will talk about, mag-refresher na naman ulit tayo sa Animal Welfare Act. We'll also talk about, yung mga nagawa na natin, for us to move forward. So, yes, I guess everyone's excited already and everyone's, eager na talaga malaman ano ba talagang gagawin namin. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight. Sobrang grateful ko talaga sa kanya kasi sobrang last minute. And then, he sent a message to the page na they've been supporting Caution Project already. Again, in behalf of the whole Caution Project team, of course, our rescue dogs and cats, thank you to all of the secret donors. Yung mga talagang nagdo-donate lang, they don't even inform us, they just send we just send their donations, so they just send dog food, cat food to the shelters. Thank you so much. So again, our speaker for tonight is a lawyer, of course, because like we mentioned, Caution Project is not the justice system and we're not lawyers. So every time you report to us, parang yes, we can acknowledge it, pero again, we're not lawyers. So our speaker is attorney Jose Fidel Acuña, or we can call him Attorney Joseph. So he's a lawyer with a Juris Doctor degree and a degree in Bachelor of Arts, major in legal management, and he specializes in corporate and securities law and heads AF Law's corporate capital markets, technology, entertainment and media, and special projects practice. And I think in the future he will also specialize in animal cruelty cases. So here we're already very excited and we're ready to hear what we have to tell us about the Animal Welfare Act, House and Why. So, hello, Attorney Joseph. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Hello?
Hi, Attorney. Yes, we
Hi,
can
good.
hear you.
Clear naman. Okay, hi.
Yes, Attorney, thank you for making time. Kahit sobrang last
No
minute.
problem.
Thank
No
you
problem.
so much. Ito na, kasi ang dami talaga, Attorney. Ang daming nagtatanong, ano bang gagawin? Yung kapitbahay namin, sinaktan yung aso, pinatay, ganto. Ano ba, like, pwede ba kami mag-report sa Potion? Ano, sila ba dapat sila ba dapat magpo-file ng case? May bearing ba? Kahit ako, ay ayoko mag-witness, ganon. Those are the very common na mga messages na nakukuha namin. So, yes, Attorney, take it
Yeah,
away.
so we prepared a brief presentation. A summary lang of the relevant law, which is the Animal Welfare Act, and siguro at the end a quick discussion on what to do in the event na you feel na your neighbor, or you bump into someone who's neglecting or abusing their pets. So can we flash the let's proceed to slide 4, please. sorry, let's just go straight to slide 5 pala. Yeah, so the governing law for animal abuse and animal neglect is Animal Welfare Act of 1998. Subsequently, it has already been amended, but the main law is still the Welfare Act of 1998. So basically, the Animal Welfare Act of 1998 is was created or enacted to protect and promote the welfare of animals in the Philippines. It created certain offices to be able to supervise and regulate the establishment and operation of facilities or facilities for utilized for breeding or maintaining or keeping pets, including the purposes at least, it's Welfare Act that we have to look into in terms of the kumbaga the rights of the pets, also how we are supposed to treat them. Next slide, please. So Bureau of Animal which was intended for the supervision and regulation of such animals. So it was established to be able to oversee pet shops, kennels, vet clinics, and the likes, to be able to make sure that the animals are treated well. Um, Take note that animal welfare as a concept, it pertains not only to physical but only to the psychological well-being of animals. It includes and it's not really limited. It includes but not limited to the avoidance of abuse, maltreatment, cruelty, exploitation of animals by humans, by creating appropriate standards of accommodation, feeding, and general care, and the prevention and treatment of disease of such animals. So the idea here is that it does not include only yung physically hurting the pets or the animals, but also includes yung neglect, yung hindi mo inaalagaan, hindi mo pinapakain, um, and things like that. So we always subdivide animal care with cruelty versus animal. Sorry, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Sorry, we discussed that already. So yes, animal cruelty versus animal neglect. So we usually subdivide it kasi between animal cruelty and animal neglect. So animal cruelty it encompasses a range of behaviors harmful to animals, from neglect to malicious killing. So ito may overt act kang gagawin to hurt the animal. Um, Intentional cruelty can run gamut from knowing depriving an animal of food, water, shelter, socialization, vet care, or maliciously torturing such animals. Animal neglect, on the other hand, is quite passive. Animal neglect refers to situations that are those in which the animal's caretaker or owner fails to provide food, water, shelter, vet care, or anything that is necessary for their survival. So it can either be deliberate or intentional, but either ways, at the end of the day, the animal suffers. So that is what is covered by the law. Next slide, please. One interesting concept in our laws is that it provides that it shall be unlawful for any person who has custody to an animal to abandon the animal. If any person, being the owner or having charge or control of any animal, shall without reasonable cause or excuse abandon such animal, whether permanently or otherwise, without providing for care of that animal, such act shall constitute maltreatment under the law. Um, if the animal is left in circumstances which is likely to cause the animal any unnecessary suffering, or if this abandonment results in the death of the animal, the person is actually liable for the maximum extent of the maximum penalty of the law. Um, so yeah, as I said, yun nga, there are two types of things that are punished in this law. So one is physically or overtly hurting the animal, and second is um, yung neglect nga na tinatawag. So in such a case, in both cases, pareho lang naman, both are punishable by law. Now, it will vary ngayon on the result the of the neglect or of the maltreatment to the animals. Next slide, please. Ayan. So, punishment for violators. So, basically, it is classified into three punishments. So, one is if because of the cruelty or because of the neglect, the animal dies. Number two is because of such acts, the animal um, the animal is severely injured with loss of its natural faculty to survive on its own, meaning kailangan na siyang i-hospitalize forever or kailangan na niya ng maintenance. So it will fall on the second classification. And finally, if through the acts of the owner, the animal did not really still survives, and has not been incapacitated because of such acts. So those are the three classifications. Now, as to punishment, the harshest, of course, is when the animal dies. So it will be an imprisonment of 1 year and 6 months, and 1 day to a maximum of 2 years. To a maximum of 2 years, and it may come with a fine or ano siya, and or so either both or one only, a fine not exceeding 100,000 pesos. So that's if the animal dies. If the animal was incapacitated, survives but was incapacitated by virtue of the maltreatment or the neglect, imprint of 1 year and 1 day to 1 year and 6 months, and or a fine not exceeding 50,000 pesos. Finally, if the animal actually survives and hindi naman na incapacitate, the penalty will be 6 months to 1 year and a fine not exceeding 30,000 pesos. So, may mga qualifications dito. For example, in the event na it is actually a company or a juridical person, 'di ba, yung mga syndicates or yung mga companies that are that has animals there. If it is a company that commits these crimes, it is the person responsible. So it can be the president or the actual person responsible, which will serve the imprisonment. Another qualification is if foreigner ang nag-commit ng mga crimes na to. If it's a foreigner, automatically the foreigner shall immediately be deported after the service of sentence without any further proceedings. So another thing that we have to consider in terms of punishments, is that in the event na that depending upon the effect or the result of the commission as defined by yung three classifications nga, 'di ba? Magva-vary yung parang effect natin on the imposition of the penalty, but there are additional three qualifications that will make it automatic na maximum penalty tayo. So first qualification is if it's conducted by a syndicate. So whether or not whether na matay yung aso or nag-survive siya incapacitated or nag-survive siya without being incapacitated, as long as syndicate ang nag-commit ng crime, automatic maximum penalty tayo. Number two qualification is that the offender is making a business out of the cruelty of animals. So a good example here is yung mga nagdo-dog fight, or for example, yung meat trade nga na you were talking about earlier, 'di ba? They're making a business out of the cruelty of the animals. So automatic maximum penalty 'yan. Number three is at least three animals are involved. Meaning hindi ito one-time accident lang. So because of that qualification, more than 3 na yung commit na more than 3 separate animals, automatic also, maximum na siya. And finally, if public officer yung nag-commit. So, yun, straightforward naman yun. Automatic din, maximum penalty tayo. So, as regards enforcement, sorry, 2 slides, please. Jump tayo 2 slides. One more, please. Yeah, as regards yung enforcement nito, the law actually created the concept of deputization, which is what you were talking about earlier, 'di ba? Maluna. What should we do, 'di ba? Sino ang mga person of authority? Is it the barangay? Is it the police? Is it, 'di ba, Potion Project? So the law actually provided for the concept of deputization, which means that it provides for it gave the Department of Agriculture the power to deputize or assign mga animal welfare groups as they call it welfare enforcement officers. So the idea here is that for the government to be able to implement these laws, they were authorized to deputize mga NGOs, citizen groups, community organizations, or any volunteers as long as they qualify. May mga may qualification process tayo. It also involves part of the law actually is the deputization. They are now requiring mga LGUs and even in the mga police stations to have an officer specifically for animals. So when we inquire with this, we checked if how are we on the process, because a few years back they just released the IRR for this, meaning may proper procedure na on how to be accredited. We were actually informed na so far hindi pa raw umaabot sa pagde-deputize ng mga NGOs. I'm not sure how accurate that is though, but that's the most recent statement we got. Latest na na-deputize lang are LGUs. So dyan papasok yung barangay natin. So at least with this deputization, you know na, so who are the people authorized? So while it's more, ideally, it's actually more practical sometimes to go to the barangay or to go to mga NGOs like Potion Project, diba? At least you should know at least the limitations of these people, of these groups at least. So next slide, please. Sorry, next slide, please, Malu. Yan. So now this is the question. So what do we do when we see pet being neglected or if we see pet cruelty? So the first thing, of course, is we have to intervene. But we understand, as you were saying earlier naman na, syempre nakakatakot minsan, 'di ba? And we don't know what to do because of that. The best way to go around it is, number one, to gather proof. So if you don't want to confront, because of course it's understandable, lalo na if it's a syndicate, 'di ba? Or if it's
or neighbor nila.
Yung neighbor mo natatakot ka to confront, 'di ba? Awkward. So if you don't want to go through that process, the first step probably you can do is to gather evidence. Because at the end of the day, kahit isumbong mo yan sa barangay or isumbong mo siya sa proper authority, people of authority, 'di ba? Isumbong mo siya kay Potion Project, if wala naman tayong kay Tulfo, wala naman tayong magagawa at the end of the day, because what will happen kasi is you will stand as the witness in the event na cases will be filed, and it's gonna be kwento-kwento versus their kwento, 'di ba? So the ideal thing to do is to to gather evidence. So how do we do that? We can take photos, we can take videos, 'di ba? And then we can just compile them. And then eventually, yun nga, when you go to mga NGOs or mga LGUs, the first thing kasi they'll ask from you is to write an affidavit, so that they can file the proper cases. Without those evidence, syempre makatunog na yung kapitbahay mo or makatunog na yung, 'di ba, if it's a syndicate, mas nakakatakot, 'di ba? Wala na, they can just stop operations. And it usually happens here in the Philippines. They'll close shop, lilipat lang sila, 'di ba? May dog fighting in Laguna, for example, 'di ba? They just close shop, iwan yung mga aso and lipad na sila. So the best thing for proper enforcement in the future is to be able to gather enough evidence, um and then go to the proper authorities. um as I said earlier, yun nga, we were advised na NGOs aren't deputized yet. However, while they don't have the, 'di ba, mga POS projects, POS and things like, and organizations like that, while they are not deputized yet and don't necessarily have the authority, it's always more, I mean, I can imagine that it's efficient to be able to go through them because they would have the proper facilities, proper network to be able to help you, to advise you what to do. And 'di ba, they can, kasi the intervention part kasi can end, lalo na if it's just neglect eh. It can end at the onset, 'di ba? Hindi naman na kailangan patagalin, pwede na lang kausapin na ba't naka ba't mo iniiwan yung aso mo sa car ng naka-lock, 'di ba?
Yeah.
And things like that. So
Yeah.
the first step, which is to intervene, can be done through NGOs. Yung mga pagpo-post sa Facebook, while it's, 'di ba, it can help in a way because it creates awareness, it doesn't really solve the problem sa dog level, 'di ba? Parang okay, nakita natin na may nakatali na, 'di ba, nasasaktan yung aso and things like that. But if we don't go through the process of reporting or going through an NGO, because the premise when going to an NGO is the NGO, a POSON project, or yun nga, a POS, ganyan, they will be the one to assist you or to guide you to go through the right process and, 'di ba, protect those animals. So yun, I guess that's the end of the ano. Do you have questions, Malu? Or yeah, do we have questions?
Yes, for sure. Babahain ka siguro attorney ng questions pag hindi tayo magbigay ng limit. But yes, we actually were supposed to have a very special guest tonight. Unfortunately, she has taping last minute. So, yun. But she sent over a few questions, which I guess is also a concern of, a lot of animal lovers. So, yeah, here, she sent some questions for you, attorney.
Some frequently asked questions ay 1. Saan tayo pupunta kapag meron tayong nakikita mga inaabusong stray animals? And 2. Sinong government body ang dapat nating puntahan para sabihin at i-report ang animal abuse?
Yun. So, I guess you already mentioned that earlier, attorney, but we wanna reiterate it again.
Sorry,
And
hindi ko
I also
narinig.
have...
Hindi ko narinig
Hindi
yung
mo
audio.
narinig.
Oo.
Sige, ulitin natin.
Hindi
Ulitin
yata
natin.
yeah.
Some frequently asked questions ay 1. Saan tayo pupunta kapag meron tayong nakikita mga inaabusong stray animals? And 2. Sinong government body ang dapat nating puntahan para sabihin at i-report ang animal abuse?
I think you're not supposed to mute.
Yasi
Sorry.
is ano.
Hindi ko siya naririnig. I think you're not supposed to mute. Nagma-mute ka yata.
Talaga, no, hindi naman namumit.
Okay.
Wait lang. Sige, let's say it
Basahin mo
one
na
more
lang sa akin.
time.
Sorry, hindi ko siya
Sige.
naririnig.
Anyway, so yun. Yasi was supposed to join us. Yasi is also an animal lover, animal advocate din. But then last minute, meron siyang taping. So, yun, she sent over some of her questions, which, yun, concerned din siya ng maraming tao. And you were actually able to tell us a little bit about it, but I myself also have some more follow-up na questions. So, Yasi was asking, yung first question ni Yasi was, basically, yung dalawang questions ni Yasi were all about kung ano ba yung gagawin nila when they see animal abuse, animal neglect, and sino yung government body talaga na pupuntahan nila. Basically, like, tama ba na pupunta sa barangay? But I think next question is, what if the barangay brushes off your concern? What if the barangay will tell you na, aso lang naman pala yan, because we get that a lot. So, sasabihin mo ng barangay, that's just a dog, or marami pa kaming ginagawa dito, parang ganon. Sino yung next? Sino next na dapat pumunta yung magre-report? And then earlier in the comment section, meron din nagtanong, attorney, meron daw bang filing fee?
No,
Ayun.
okay. Sige, isa-isahin muna natin. As regards the saan ba dapat pumunta? Yun nga, we have several avenues kasi. As I said earlier, 'di ba, the Department of Agriculture has deputized several offices. So, number one is LGU, which we talked about earlier. Another thing is a PNP, Philippine National Police, as well as NBI. By law, they are required to appoint or designate an animal welfare officer within the ranks. So if wala sa barangay, you can actually go to the police station and check kasi supposedly meron sila, or NBI. Again, because of the urgency most of the time of these cases, usually it's the most convenient for you that you can go to. So, yun nga, you can go to, if mas malapit sa yung police station, just run to the police station. If mas malapit sa yung, mas convenient sa yung NBI, just go to the NBI. Ideally, in concept or in theory at least, by law, yun nga, citizen groups are also allowed to confiscate pets and file necessary cases in behalf. However, yun nga, we were told na it's not yet really being done. So at most, what Potion Project can do and other groups can do is just to assist those individuals. As regards the filing fee, wala namang filing fee. In these cases kasi, you as the person na nagsumbong, you're merely what you call this, a witness. Kaya nga 'di ba, I was telling earlier na it's important for you to be able to gather evidence para pag mag-testify ka, meron ka mapapakita na proof of what you saw or what's happening sa kapitbahay mo, 'di ba? So, 'yon.
Yeah, so ayun, attorney, again, going back. So, di ba, they should go to the barangay first. The least that they can do is to go to the barangay first and report, most especially if nangyayari nga siya sa mga neighborhood. So, they go to the barangay. What if the barangay brushes it off? So, you said they can go to the police or to the NBI. Yun, hindi ba mananagot yung barangay? If they said no, most especially if like emergency situation, yung kapitbahay din tinataga na talaga yung aso, and the barangay says, marami pa kang ginagawa. So yes, okay, they went to the police. The police did something about it, but hindi ba mananagot yung barangay na they ignored the report?
Yeah, you could always file a case, whether it's the barangay or it's the police. You can always file cases, and this doesn't just apply in animal welfare. In
Any
all
case
government
for that
agencies,
matter.
you can always file for administrative cases for neglect of duty. So dun papasok 'yan. You can always, but yun nga, from experience in these cases, 'di ba? It's usually the urgency that's the problem na
Yes.
if you go through that process pa, it will take you years, 'di ba? Matagal nang nakatay yung aso or matagal nang nahuli, 'di ba? I think that's also the realization why the law authorizes mga NGOs and citizen groups to be able to be deputized and help out in these cases because of that understanding also na sometimes while in theory nga that's how you should do it, it's actually impractical to go to the barangay and 'di ba the training of it. I mean, I can imagine not all of them are trained to deal with these things, 'di ba? Hindi siya ganun ka priority as you said, 'di ba? Mas marami silang pinoproblema minsan and they will
Especially
probably
now,
tell
we're
that to
in the
you.
middle of a crisis, so COVID
Oo.
is priority now.
So depending on your priority, you can always go to the next level up and 'di ba, just file a case later on or use it to intimidate them. Sabihin mo na lang na 'di ba, you can always file those cases. Especially if unreasonable na ayaw lang nila because kamag-anak pa lang nila yung kapitbahay nyo or something. So, yun, that's what you can do. You can go to the other agencies which are deputized or authorized to act as the animal welfare enforcement officer.
Okay, sige. We'll promise to make a list. Ito na lang siguro from our end. We'll make a list of all of these, mga tao and organizations and group and the government body where people can go to para lang at least clear to everyone kasi yan always yung problem ng lahat, di nila alam saan pupunta, so they always resort to reporting on Facebook.
Yes, and usually Malu, for example, in specific mga police stations, they have an officer or a group of people there na yun yung trabaho. They are designated to that office specifically. So, maybe that's something that yun nga should be if for information dissemination, if there's something that can help, probably we can provide that. Yun nga like I and with law enforcement kasi it's always like that eh. Merong grupo that's assigned to carnapping, may grupo na sa
Yes.
pockets, and may grupo for animal welfare. So we can always search for that para yun yung hahanaping grupo whenever. It varies depending on the LGU, depending kung gaano
Yes.
kalaki, may funding ba, and things like that.
Yes.
But there's always a group that handles it. And siguro, yun nga, hopefully in future legislation, they can make it simpler for people, 'di ba? Kasi
Yeah.
it's a bit too complicated, and for people who are not
Yeah.
really that much of an advocate, wala silang
Yeah.
pakialam, too much of a hassle
For
for,
sure.
'di ba?
Yes.
For something that will not
Oo.
affect me, 'di ba? So making it
Mm.
simpler siguro, and yon siguro part of the information dissemination siguro should be who those people are,
Mhm.
'di ba? If
Yes,
it
yes.
actually exists, 'di ba?
Yes. I think
So
yun na lang din siguro yung
yeah,
pwedeng
we
gawin
can
din
probably
ng
do
mga
that. We can probably
followers.
help each other out, and yeah.
Yes, yes. And also our followers din, most especially yung mga may connection na sa barangay or yung may kamag-anak na nasa barangay or sa LGU. It's talaga, that's why I always tell this to
Pero
everyone.
directory.
Na,
Yeah.
yeah, and we have to help each other. Hindi naman po kasi pwede na iasa natin lahat sa gobyerno, most especially right now, na ang dami talagang pinoproblema. Siguro we can do, there's so many things that we can do. So that's really one way people can help us. Now, right now, maybe everyone can volunteer to, check out their local barangays or their LGUs and ask kung sino yung mga kung sino yung deputized, siguro mag-inquire sa police station,
Yeah.
sa barangay, and you can forward those information to us so that we can collate it, and probably we can have a directory per
Yeah.
region, per city, para alam ng lahat.
Who to
I
call,
think
who
we
to,
can,
where to
we
go.
can start from there para at least kung clear sa atin ito yung mga tao na dapat puntahan tapos hindi nila ginawa yung job nila, then maybe we can go to Department of Agriculture, we can go to NBI talaga and tell them, oh, these are the people who are supposed to do their jobs but they're not doing it. Kasi I think doon talaga nagkakagap, attorney, na parang, okay, we know there's a law, and then, okay, we tell people now what to do, but then when they go to these people, di naman ina-actionan. So, parang doon na natatapos, di na alam ng tao ano yung next na step na gagawin. So, that's a very, very good, that's a very, very good point. I think eto na, after discussion natin, bukas hapon na kayo
Directory.
tayo ng mga kamag-anak, magawa na tayo ng directory natin. That's it's a very nice point. Eto, I saw a comment here na I think is very relevant. From Tinapay Tinay. Her question is, how about po sa protection ng witnesses? Sometimes, meron pong mga nagiging threat. I remember, meron po akong nakita at nabasa na ganong case. Yun na, something I mentioned earlier, na yun nga, takot yung mga iba mag-report since yung involved is the neighbor. So, syempre, since alam ng lahat na hindi naman talaga halos lahat ng animal cruelty cases na actionan, syempre sila yung takot, di ba? Paano kung sila yung balikan, tapos sila naman yung tagain, di ba? Meron ba tayong protection program, something like that?
Yeah, like in all cases naman, we can always ask for protection. Actually, mas nakakatakot dyan, to be honest, are those cases na syndicate you're dealing with syndicates. Kasi pag kapitbahay, it's just an awkward, 'di ba? Few minutes when you bump into them outside. Pero what's actually, yung nakaka-worry in those cases is, yun nga, parang you found out na yung lot beside your house, they're doing, alam mo yun, parang illegal dog fighting or 'di ba, nagkakatay pala sila ng karne ng mga dogs or cats, 'di ba? And usually you're dealing with syndicates, so mas nakakatakot, I can imagine. You can't really do it na anonymous. The complaint pwede for them to stop it, but once you file cases, you will actually testify kasi eh.
Yeah.
So you can always ask from but you can always ask naman. You can always ask from if you file through the police station or yun nga, pag magfa-file ka na, you can always ask for protection and depending on the justification. So for example, yun nga, you're dealing with a syndicate. Pagbibigyan ka naman nila But I can imagine baka hindi ka masyadong pagbibigyan is ang reason mo lang is natatakot ka sa kapitbahay mo kasi baka pagchismisan ka or alam mo yon, pagalitan ka. But for
Or
serious
baka hindi
cases
na
na yun nga, you're
magbayad ng
dealing with
utang sa'yo.
di na magbayad ng yeah. So but if for serious cases, you can always you can always ask for that sa mga law enforcement agencies and you can just justify why. And yun nga, if it's a really valid excuse like you're dealing with a syndicate, 'di ba? Pwede naman siya. They will grant that naman.
Okay, sige, ito. Siguro kahit last question muna natin for tonight and then we can go back to you later. Ito, can you guide us all, attorney, like how, like yung process? Where do they file the affidavit? And then, ano yung mga kailangan? You mentioned already there's no fee or whatsoever. What's the next step? Things like that. Kasi, dun talaga, kailangan we have to take action. Ang dami kasi reports nakikita sa Facebook. But, yun, since we already addressed their concern kung saan sila pupunta, kanina magre-report, then can you guide everyone? Like, what's the process? How does it really look like?
When you go to the person of authority, whether it's the police, the LGU, or the NBI, that person will actually handle from end to end your case. Wala ka talagang gagawin. Sasabihan ka na lang nila when you will go, what you will do, and then even your testimony, yung affidavit mo, sila ang magta-type nun. I mean, wala ka talagang gagawin. So,
Magsa-sign ka lang talaga and mag-show up pag may
yes. So,
hearing,
magkukwento
ganon.
ka. Actually, magkukwento ka sa kanila. Ikukwento mo yung nangyari. Tapos usually, ita-type lang talaga nila yon. Papakita sa'yo kung
Ikwento
accurate.
mo
Baka
yung
kasi,
ano,
yung
kwento mo
nangyari, yung
yung
nakita
pinost mo
mo.
sa Facebook.
Oo, 'di ba? So, ipapakita mo 'yon. Ipapakita mo yung mga evidence mo, ganyan. And then the animal welfare officer is supposed to handle that from end to end. Kumbaga, the moment na masimulan na hanggang sa pagfa-file ng case sa korte, sila rin yung mag-a-attend sa court. Sila yung ipapatawag ng court. Ikaw mapapadalhan ka lang ng mga subpoena and notices as the witness, not really as a complainant. So in this case, hindi ikaw yung complainant while literally ikaw yung nag-complain. You are treated actually as a witness. So it is them who will actually handle it from end to end. That's why hopefully in the future nga they are able to deputize mga civic organizations and NGOs, 'di ba? Because I'm assuming because of 'di ba, better funding probably and things like
And
that.
because sa amin talaga unang nare-report.
Oo, kayo yung kayo
to
yung
cut short,
frontliners
to
in
cut
terms of
short na
that.
din the process.
And kumbaga in terms of kasi of the yung passion towards it, 'di ba? Yun nga, parang I can imagine a police probably thinking na parang bakit ko ginagawa to? I could be solving crimes and 'di ba? Things like that.
Lalo na attorney, kung yung pinag-reportan mo na pulis, kumakain din pala ng aso, di ba?
'Di ba? Oo.
Or lalo
So
na yung pulis na pinag-reportan mo, baka ginawa lang din niya kanina, sinipa niya yung aso sa daan, di ba?
oo. So yun nga eh. So yun yung yun yung difference. But yun nga, I mean in fairness naman to the law enforcement agencies, when they get deputized, part of the process they get training also. So I'm not sure now how wide the process has come now. If umabot na sa provinces, if they were able to deputize and train people already. But at least in the main cities, they already started that. So
I doubt talaga. Parang hindi pa po talaga umaabot sa provinces. But, I know, I guess this is really why we're doing things like this. And we're hoping that we have LGUs out there and we have, that someone from the police department, the NBI watching right now. Kasi, we want everyone to understand that again, there's really this, merong sector din sa society na nangangailangan ng tulong. And, to the government officials then I guess, there's so many animal registered voters na animal advocates. So, sana talaga, diba, attorney, mabigyan na ng pansin. We can all work together. We can all work together sa pag-assist ng mga tao, lalo na talaga kami na ang dami-daming complaints na nakikita namin. Pero yun, yung mga nakukuha namin na reports, nagsisend ng picture na yung aso dinadrag na ng kapitbahay or nasa tricycle, mga ganon. Tapos magpipicture lang. Sometimes it breaks our hearts na parang, kayo po yung andyan eh. Baka pwede naman na pagsabihan nyo muna because, we're just here, like, nasa likod kami ng screen or andito kami sa Manila, or dito sa Bacolod, yung report nandun sa Cebu, parang ano po pwede namin magawa, 'di ba? So, this is really basically why we conducted this webinar. And we hope, sana after nito, mag-take action na lahat. I mean, yes, like you mentioned, attorney, it's okay to post on Facebook for awareness. Pero sana, bago mag-report sa amin, nagawa na ng action from your end. 'Di ba? I mean,
FYI na lang afterwards.
Oo, yung fear, yung gusto ko din sabihin sa lahat na, yung fear niyo po na baka balikan kayo, ganun lang din naman kami, diba? Babalikan din naman kami ng sindikato na i-report ninyo. So, I think we really just have to work together for the animals. And, we have to admit it. Sobrang dami pa talagang mga, ang dami pa talagang kailangan nating punan ng mga lapses din. Ang dami pang pagkukulang, attorney. So, kaya sobrang we're so grateful. Things like this will hopefully lessen the reports na hindi na-actionan. Hopefully, webinars like this will educate people and hopefully inspire people na dapat sila ngayong umaksyon talaga to, really listen. Listen din sa mga reports ng mga tao. Ito na lang, last na lang, attorney, yung sa dog meat trade. Kasi, we get reports na meron mga ibang dogs sa pound na, yung tinatakas, tapos binibenta for dog meat trade. What's in it for them? If merong mag-witness and then meron na nagsabi na, proven talaga from this pound, binibenta yung mga dogs for dog meat, what's in it for them? Ano yung kaparusahan talaga sa kanila? Kasi sobrang dami, minsan ang daming mga dogs sa pound, tas sobrang dami. Yun na yun, parang yung maximum is ilang years yun, attorney?
2 years, 2 years. 2 years ang natin, penalty for that case. So, yun, it practically kasi, obviously, mamamatay yung aso. It caused the death. So, dun tayo sa pinakataas na bracket papasok. And then, magko-qualify na lang siya if depending on, yun nga, gaano kadalas nila ginagawa. Is it done by a group of people or a syndicate or, diba, things like that. But, usually, if paulit-ulit na ginagawa, automatic maximum penalty ang ipapataw dyan.
Which is again how long?
2 years. 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Sobrang short lang yon. After 2 years, hindi pa siguro nagbago yun. So, I think ito talaga. That's why this is everyone's plea. This is everyone's cry. We have to strengthen. We really have to strengthen the Animal Welfare Act. And dapat mas strict pa sana. And dapat, mas mataas pa sana yung fine. And, yun, I think, ito pa, we still don't have a data. Ilan na ba talaga yung mga na-convict or na mga naparusahan na nag-commit ng animal cruelty cases? May alam ka ba dito, attorney?
Wala rin eh. But, alam nyo kasi, more than the penalty itself, yung kung gaano kabigat, gaano katagal yung kulong, or gaano kalaki yung fine, I think the more important factor to be considered here is the enforcement. Parang it has to be, 'di ba? Parang kahit naman kasi 50 years kang ikukulong if hindi ka naman nakulong because walang nagko-complain or 'di ba? Parang it's not really gonna change. So it's the fear of of having to serve whatever penalty is. That's really the problem kasi even if you increase it to 50 years, alam naman nilang walang nagsusumbong, walang nagdedemanda, walang. So I think it's that's one factor that has to be really considered, 'di ba? The certainty na pag may ginawa kang mali, makukulong ka talaga or you
and it all starts with having to file a case or a report. Yun din gusto talaga namin maintindihan ng mga tao na you cannot just cry, post all of your complaints and your cries on Facebook na kailangan siya makulong. Paano nga siya makukulong? Walang nag-file, 'di ba? Again, we always tell everyone, hindi po kasi kami nakakita, so Potion Project cannot file. Tama ba 'yun, attorney? 'Di ba? Kasi we're not the witness. We're not the witness. I mean, we can always assist, probably
yes,
help
facilitate
you out
the
all throughout the process, but it should always start with you, the witness. Yun talaga. So, every time you see a cruelty or whatever, take a photo or a video and you have to make it a point. Kung naawa ka nga talaga dun sa aso, you really stand by it. Kailangan mo talagang mag-testify in court. Kailangan mo mag-show up talaga. Because, and I think it's the call of Potion Project. We need more brave na animal advocates para talaga na yung makapag-file talaga tayo ng case and yung matapos talaga siya, yung panindigan mo talaga yung awa mo dun sa pinatay na dog or cat. Wait. You're there pa naman, attorney, no?
Yep.
Yeah, sige. So, I think we can go on and on with all the concerns of everyone regarding animal cruelty and in the house. But we're very grateful. At least more or less na-address yung pinaka-basic. Step 1 talaga. Again, to everybody, kung may nakita kayo or naawa kayo, you go to the barangay. Again, kung hindi nga inaksyon ng barangay, then go to the next level. Go to the police, go to the NBI. And then yun din sinabi namin, ikunin niyo yung mga pangalan ng mga nagno-no sa inyo and hindi kayo in-assess. Then maybe you can forward it to us and then we'll try to find a way and hanapan natin kung sino talaga yung mag-a-action. Again, everyone has to do their part. Hindi po pwede na Potion Project, POST, AKF, or kung anumang organization, hindi po pwede na kami yung mag-step 1. Step 1 always begins with you, the one who saw the crime, the one na nakakita talaga. So, I hope that clarifies everything. Maybe we can go back to you later, attorney. For sure, para sa next natin na topic, may mga mag-a-arise pa din na mga questions na ikaw din makakasagot. So, yun, since we've already talked about, like, anong gagawin, sino ba talaga yung mananagot, kanino magre-report, everyone here, I see a lot of comments here on Facebook na sinasabi na sana i-spay and neuter na lang, sana pasara na lang mga dog pound, ito yung mga kino-comment ng mga tao. Then, I guess we're ready to go to the next topic. Ito naman from the government naman to na end. This is what everyone's crying out loud for. Na sana talaga daw may batas na, but like we mentioned earlier, there's already an Animal Welfare Act. But ano na ba yung mga steps na na-take natin for us to be able to move forward? So, joining us tonight is a very, very special person. Ito talaga, he is our ally in Congress. I wouldn't, I'm pretty sure and I wouldn't really be able to, hindi ako ganito ka-strong to fight for the rights of the animals, and ipaglaban and isulong pa if wala akong backup and support system sa gobyerno na side. So, I'm very, very honored to introduce to you our guest and one of our speakers tonight. He is our ally in Congress. Siya talaga yung nakikinig sa amin kung may mga reklamo kami. He's also very, very quick to help us. Our guest, special guest for tonight, and our speaker also. Ang dami na nag-idol sa kanya. And we've also seen how active he has been all throughout this pandemic. So he's a representative of the Ang Provinciano Party List. He has proven himself as a big ally of animal advocates in Congress. One of his achievements in improving animal welfare in the Philippines includes filing of H.R. 206 to investigate the state of animal welfare in the country and calling for the rehabilitation of animal pounds and facilities in the country. This is everyone's concern. As well as being successful with working with LTFRB and issuing a memorandum allowing pets on board PUVs under certain conditions. He's also in close collaboration with us, Potion Project, in delivering animal welfare initiatives such as spay and neuter programs and rescue operations. And finally, it is an established fact that he's a true animal lover, as you can find him at home with 6 of his dogs, one of which he adopted from Potion Project during last year's International Homeless Animals Day. So everyone, let us welcome our favorite ally in Congress, Representative Kong Ronnie Ong. Hi,
Good evening.
Kong. Good
Good evening, Malu.
evening.
Hi, how are you? How's everyone? Hey, everyone,
Uh,
good evening.
pagod na Kong. But thank you for making time. Thank you for making
We'll
time.
always be open for you, always and always, always in support of Malu and Potion Project.
You. Sige, Kong. So, yun, ito, earlier, Attorney Joseph has been telling us about, giving us a brief background about the Animal Welfare Act, ano ba yung gagawin ng mga tao. We're so grateful. He's really,
Yes,
answered
we're thankful.
a lot of yung mga usual na tanong ng mga tao, and I hope it's more than enough to move people talaga to take action. So, yun, ito ang dami na nagko-comment na sana daw, ito may bill na daw sana, may law na daw, dapat spay and neuter, pasa na daw yung mga pounds. Kong, sige, can you tell us about the step that we took for us to, move forward for the animals?
Again, good evening, Malu, to everyone. Just to give a briefer, my team and I met Malu last year. And from the moment we met her, we somehow knew that the partnership with Potion Project will be fruitful and will help improve the animal welfare in the Philippines. Ako mismo po have 6 pets and 6 dogs. Among them is Coco, one of Potion Project's dog ambassador last year. Coco has been blessing to me and my family kahit inuubos niya po lahat ng tuwalya namin sa bahay. Especially yung mga color white. Paborito ho ni Coco yan. Parang kahit when we met Coco, he was anxious and clingy at first. Parang natatakot siya lagi maiwan, probably because of the trauma he suffered from before Potion Project came to help him and foster him. Over time, since last year, he has grown out of his shell. Ngayon, okay na po si Coco, lagi na ho naglalaro. And we're also happy to let everyone know that Coco has been very normal, very happy. As a matter of fact, lagi ho niyang kalaro yung Rottweiler namin. Actually, we should always give dogs a chance. Yung mga animals natin, will always love us unconditionally. And it is up to us humans to care for them, love them, protect them, and fight for them. Aware po tayo sa kalagayan noon ng mga stray animals sa Philippines at lalo po tayong namumulat dahil sa Potion Project. Kaya we filed since last year House Resolution 206, which aims to investigate the implementation of our current animal welfare laws and hope to improving them. While of course we know we are currently battling COVID-19 pandemic, we cannot simply forget these animals who have been suffering long too. That's why tayo nakikisa sa Potion Project ngayon linggo at sa kanilang Awareness Week ng International Homeless Animals. Kahit sa madami na nagagawa na simulan, sobra dami pa rin nating kailangan gawin para sa mga strays at kailangan maligtas, maalagaan, mabigyan ng protection, pagmamahal. Sa Potion Project po, thank you for continuously trusting us or for letting us partner with you your projects for animal welfare in the country. Let us be the voice for the voiceless. Again, Malu, we're so proud that we're part of Potion Project and makakaasa po kayo na tuloy-tuloy tayong tumutulong. As a matter of fact, we're just waiting for yun sa House Resolution 206 and we were able to meet and talk to the chairmen of the local government and for agriculture for BAIC, and we'll be calling for hearing soon. Matapos lang to, baka mag-Zoom meeting na ho tayo within the week and we will be calling the officials and somehow kausapin natin kung bakit ho hindi na tutupad nung batas natin sa animal welfare. Again, thank you Malu for all your support.
Thank you also, Kong. And ito din, trivia lang. The Coco, yung name ni Coco, pangalan na talaga niya yon before pa siya na-adopt ni Kong. So, what a coincidence talaga na yun yung na-adopt ni Kong sa amin.
It was funny nga, meron nga mga nagko-comment sa amin na why daw Coco lang, bakit daw wala pang Yasi?
we'll never know. Baka madagdagan soon. Time na Kong, kasi nag 1 year na si Coco sa inyo. Mag-adapt na ng Yasi sa shelter.
And we really saw the change in Coco. As in, before, very clingy, very scared siya. But ngayon, sobrang free, sobrang happy. Yun nga, inuubos nga lahat ng tuwalya sa bahay. So, we're very happy.
Buti na lang Kong, tuwalya lang ang yung kay Coco eh. Yung ibang mga na-adapt sa amin, like si Miss Bea Ledesma, yung nag-adapt kay Tiger, di ba magkasama si Coco
Yes,
and Tiger?
yes, si Tiger. Remember Tiger?
Miss Bea Ledesma, the VP of Hinge Inquirer, was the one who adopted Tiger. Tapos nag-update din siya. Sabi niya, yung favorite naman daw ni Tiger, yung mga Havaianas na tsinelas. Sabi ko kay Bea, libre nga yung adoption, pero mahal naman yung mga sinisira nila. But you know, the love that they give to us, sobrang priceless. Sobrang priceless. And I think it's very fulfilling, Kong, no, na you're able to be a part of an animal's life. Lalo na yung may mga pinagdaanan dati, yung ayaw ng iba, yung tinataboy, parang basura lang yung tingin ng iba. It's very fulfilling.
It's just that sometimes, Malu, I know especially you feel this na parang very frustrating at times kasi you want to do more. And syempre, whenever you look at social media, ang daming gusto natin tulungan. Especially you, Malu, alam natin yan. And sometimes when we talk, nasi-share mo rin yung frustrations mo, especially even with our friend, si Nelly. So sometimes it's very sad na sana we can do more. That's why, again, we're calling for everyone. We're just a speck in the big sea. We need everyone's help. Lahat tayo pa magtulong-tulong and be the voice of the voiceless. Malaking bagay talaga yon.
Yes. So, yeah, on behalf of Potion Project and, all of the animal welfare advocates, all of the animal lovers, we really thank you for, helping us be heard. Most especially in Congress. Kasi alam talaga natin, the only way for things to work is for all of us to work together. Hindi po kakayanin ng gobyerno lang. Hindi po kakayanin ng NGOs lang. Hindi kakayanin kahit sino pang pinakasikat na celebrity na mag-advocate. Hindi po kakayanin because it's such a complex problem na kailangan siya ng funding, kailangan niya ng tao to work on the ground, kailangan niya ng gobyerno to implement the laws. So, I think it's about time na let's stop putting the blame on this person, on the government, or whoever, mga personality man yan. Yes, we can call them out. And we'd be more than welcome to get your suggestions or kung ano may yung gusto nyo na gawin natin. But we also have to do our part. Yun yung sabi kanina ni Attorney Joseph and like what you mentioned earlier, we have to do our part. We have to work together for the animals. Kasi yun, perfect example siguro yung kanina na kahit gaano po ka gusto ng Potion Project na tulungan yung tinagang aso, hindi na kami pwede mag-witness sa court kasi hindi nga kami. Kahit gaano ka gusto ni Kong Ronnie na ipakulong yung taong yun, hindi naman siya yung nakakita ng pagtaga ng aso. So, I think we really have to work together. And we're just very grateful na, we're one step forward. There's already the NGOs and then the government through you, and we're hoping that more and more people in office will also open their doors to animal welfare. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hindi po natin siya masusolve agad-agad, di ba, Kong?
Correct.
There's still a long way to go. But ito din, I really have to testify lang talaga kung gaano kabilis si Kong gumalaw. Kasi nung nireport about yung sa aso doon na nalagay sa bus, grabe ang bilis-bilis ni Kong umaksyon, contact agad sa LTFRB. And FYI to everybody, it was really because of Kong Ronnie and team's efforts. Kung bakit talaga na-actionan agad na, the LTFRB was really able to na-check na, may lapses pala sa memorandum natin, so we have to revise it. So, thank you in behalf of all the animal welfare advocates and all the animal lovers. Thank you for opening your doors to animal welfare. Thank you din, syempre, to Kat and all of the whole team behind Kong Ronnie.
The whole team.
Kasi Kong Ronnie lang, the whole team of Kong Ronnie.
Correct.
They're also very helpful and accommodating.
Thank you, Malu. Thank you.
And and Tita Nelly din. Tita Nelly, hello.
Tita-
Thank you for introducing us to Kong Ronnie. Tita Nelly is Kong Ronnie's classmate. So, grabe, nagjo-join forces. Ito talaga, di ba? If we all join forces, grabe pa siguro kung mag-times 10,
Correct.
20 pa tayong lahat.
Thank you.
Ayun, so thank you, Kong. Thank you for making
you.
time tonight. But to talk more about the House Resolution 206 that Kong Ronnie passed, we have here, ito talaga, mahihain kasi talaga si attorney. Ayaw niyo paggawa ng poster sa kanya. But yes, no choice ka talaga, attorney. You have to speak to us tonight and talk more about the House Resolution 206 that Kong Ronnie filed. So, hello, Attorney Brian. Ito,
Hello
Chief
po.
of, hello. Thank you for
Hello po.
making
Good evening
time.
po sa
Good
inyo
evening,
lahat.
Bri.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Hello po.
Sorry, attorney. Kailangan mo talagang mag-appear
No
sa
problem po.
Netizens tonight.
No problem.
Ayun. So, sige, attorney, can you tell us about the House resolution that Kong Ronnie filed?
Sure. I just want to discuss po shortly yung House Resolution number 206 and what is this all about and yung goal po ng resolution. So, yung HR 206 po is simply calling for investigation sa implementation ng animal welfare and responsible pet ownership laws and local ordinances. Sa next slide po, as a background, na-discuss na po kanina ni Attorney Acuna yung about sa Animal Welfare Act. But as a background, what we have so far is RA 8485. That's more than 20 years already, 1998, amended by RA 10631 in 2013. It defines animal welfare as the physical and psychological well-being of animals. It includes avoidance of abuse, maltreatment by humans. And under that law, a committee on animal welfare was created, and it's a rule-making body subject to the approval of the DA secretary. So they make rules, and ang nag-approve po is the DA secretary. What enforces the rules is under the IRR, ang nag-enforce daw is the Animal Health and Welfare Division of the Bureau of Animal Industry. So kung meron pong isang malaking part kung bakit hindi na-implement ng tama, it may be this part of the government, the Animal Health and Welfare Division of the Bureau of Animal Industry. Next slide. Aside from the Animal Welfare Act as amended, we also have the Anti-Rabies Act of 2007, which mandates LGUs to establish dog pounds and enforce dog impounding activities, to enforce prohibition against torture and killing of animals, to undertake promotional campaign on pet ownership and yung benefit ng spay and neuter sa mga pets natin, and also to provide incentive system kapag ikaw ay nagpa-spay or neuter, magkakaroon ka daw ng subsidized or discounted pet registration fee. Next slide. So, meron po tayong mga laws, Animal Welfare Act, Anti-Rabies, but why did we file House Resolution 206? Kasi yung actual realities po, and you can testify about this sa mga animal lovers natin, yung laws and rules are not really implemented. So, kanina po, we were joining at the very start of our discussion. Sana daw magkaroon ng batas. May batas na po. Sana daw taasan yung fine, patagalan yung ano. But kagaya nga ng sabi ni Attorney Acuna kanina, it's really the enforcement which is the problem. So, yun po ang goal ng House Resolution na to. To look at the enforcement, to investigate saan ba nagkukulang. And alam niyo po ba na administratively, marami pong magagawa. Bago pa tayo gumawa ng batas, administrative pa lang, usap-usap pa lang, round table pa lang, consultation pa lang, marami na po tayong magagawa. So next slide. Example ho. Existing rules mandate na meron tayong well-maintained pounds, humane treatment of animals, euthanasia. Yet, tayo po mga animal welfare advocates, ito po yung natatanggap nating report. Una, yung mga LGUs po, they do not have animal pounds. And if they do have, many of them are not really following standards and walang daily sustenance ng sufficient food and water. And second is yung cases ng torture of pets is still rampant. Nagtaka ako kanina, sa Potion pa lang, more than 50 reports daily. So, kahit pandemic. So, nandyan pa rin ho yan. Kahit may batas, bakit may torture pa rin? Next also is, kahit may impounding activities, mostly, often, violent or brutal yung pagka-catch or pag-impound. Next slide. Ito rin po yung mga issue na nakikita natin kahit may batas, hindi po pina-prioritize or walang appreciation when it comes to spaying or neutering animals. Option sana to instead of euthanasia, pero hindi na-appreciate yung benefit. And also adoption. Maraming may gusto ng animals ngayon, but hindi aggressively promoted. Also, may differences sa local ordinance. And lastly, kahit allowed yung euthanasia by gunshot, may growing dissent na siya na hindi na siya ituloy. And ang masama ho dito, yung ibang nagpe-perform ho nito are not really AFP, PNP sharpshooters, kung sino-sino lang. So, sa next slide, this is the reason why we filed House Resolution 206. Kasi ang power ho ng Congress is oversight. Kumbaga ganito ho yan, may batas na, the oversight power will, Congress will tell the agency, binigyan namin kayo ng power, binigyan namin kayo ng function, binigyan namin kayo ng budget, anong ginagawa nyo? So we will try to push the agencies to really implement the animal welfare laws well. Di na po natin muna kailangan ng bagong batas. Enforce nyo muna ito na existing. So in the end, ito po yung gusto naming ma-achieve. Humane and standard treatment of animals in pounds and shelters, accessible spay-neuter program, to aggressively promote animal adoption, and to intensify prosecution against animal torture abuse. Kanina po, maraming nagtatanong, kanino pupunta, sinong pupuntahan, who are these people, sino ang deputize. We can ask that. Tatanungin natin yung DI, tatanungin natin yung PNP, tatanungin natin yung NBI, tatanungin natin yung DILG, sino ba? So that people will be guided. And kung meron nga mga hindi nag-a-act na mga officials, we can really call them out. That's the power of Congress. We can call them out. Kung meron pong mga mayor or may mga PNP officials na hindi po nag-a-act, especially the deputized ones, we can call them out. And kung gusto po natin ng information dissemination tungkol sa existing na batas natin, we can also ask DA to do that. Bakit hindi na pro-promote? So, next slide po. Ayun po, makakaasa ho kayo na si Kong Ronnie and our team, we are one with you in being a voice to the voiceless but precious pets and animals po natin. So, kagaya po ng sabi ni Kong Ronnie kanina, hopefully soon, nagkaroon lang ho ng COVID. Actually, last March, meron na sana ho tayong roundtable discussion about this. But we're pushing it within this month na magkaroon na po ng roundtable discussion about HR 206 po. And we will be able to address major issues na meron po ngayon. So, yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Brian.
Thank you, Attorney Brian.
Talaga na-reiterate ni Attorney Brian lahat ng mga gustong mangyari ng mga tao. I mean, I think almost all ng mga sinabi ni Attorney, yun yung mga nakikita dito sa comments na bakit daw hindi na lang mag-spay and neuter, bakit daw pinapatay po yung mga aso. It's so hard kasi as of the moment, we have the Anti-Rabies Act. So, hindi kasi pwede na sabihin natin na wag mag-impound. Of course, we can always inspire the LGUs and the local, yung mga city vets na sana they focus their efforts in spaying and neutering. Mahirap din po kasi kasi diba, it always involves a budget. So, syempre, wala silang budget, paano nila nakakapunin yung mga aso, diba? So, it's very hard because again, we still have the existing Anti-Rabies Act and hindi pwedeng ipin natin lang sa pound kasi it's their mandate trabaho nila talaga. And that's why, yun yung sabi natin, we already have an existing law. And this is basically why Kong Ronnie helped us file the House Resolution 206. Kasi we believe na dapat i-revisit muna natin yung law. Tapos let's make sure kung properly implemented ba siya. Because it's very complex na maggawa na naman ulit tayo ng law kung meron naman na tayong existing, di ba? Siguro kailangan i-correct na lang natin yung mga yung mga iba dyan na hindi naman na-implement. And then, I think it's very important kung na we have to, dapat clear talaga sa mga tao, sino ba mananagot? Kanino ba talaga magre-report? And again, this is what the House resolution is for. Meron din...
Actually,
sige,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. It's okay, go ahead.
Actually, we really need to have this round table discussion, and sabi nga ni Attorney Bry, dapat noon March pa to, but we'll definitely push na kung kaya magawa this August. Kasi nga, just like everyone, maraming tayong tanong. Actually, may mga budget ho sila eh. Ang tanong niya, ano ang ginagawa nila? But hindi na ginagawa ang trabaho nila. That's why we have to call them out.
Yes, kasi imposible kung, no? Hindi pwede na hindi magkaroon ng budget. I mean, para saan pa na nagka-city vet, di ba? Kung wala silang budget.
Especially the 2001 budget will be discussed also soon. Kung kailangan dagdagan, di pwede natin sabihin sa Congress na dagdagan ng budget nila. But that's why we really have to talk to them.
Pero sige, Kong or Attorney Brian, whoever may answer. Sino ba, para lang maintindihan ng mga tao, sino ba makakapag-request ng budget? Like, say for example, the people from this particular city, gusto talaga nila na tama na yung pag-impounding. Let's focus our efforts on spaying and neutering the dog. Sino ba yung makakapag-request ng budget for that?
Attorney Bray, go ahead.
So, yung mga standards yung mga rules binibigay ho ng DA, but the actual implementation would be sa local government. A lot of services kasi nasa local government na. So it will be the budget ng local government. Sa national implementation, that would be the budget of DA, the Bureau of Animal Industry. Pero yung local na mga implementation, that would be the local government
yes,
units.
So, I hope it's clear to everyone. Kung yung mga nagrereklamo dyan kasi sa mga city nila or sa barangay ang daming impounding, you go to your barangay first or go to the LGU. Punta kayo sa city vet niyo, kausapin niyo yung city vet na, Doc, mag-ano naman kayo, propose naman kayo ng mga programs for spay and neuter. And you push them or kahit inspire na lang sila. You tell them na baka naman pwede mag-propose ng programs yung city vet and then the mayor approves the budget. Parang yun yung maging process, diba, Kong?
Correct.
The city vet will propose yung programs and then siguro it will be backed up by the city councilors. Mag-ano sila ng mga ordinance, local ordinance.
Yes, correct.
And in the end, the mayor
Even budget.
approves it. No?
Yeah, even
so
the budget.
Mayor will, diba, councilors can request na mag-allocate ng budget for that particular program and then the mayor approves it. Para clear lang sa lahat. That's why it's very important. Ito yung mga binovote yun na leaders. That's why ito talaga, gusto ko yung maintindihan ng mga tao how important the roles of these people are. Kasi hindi pwede, paano kung city vet mo, gustong-gusto nga naman talagang mag-spay and neuter na program, walang nag-back up na counselor, walang nag-file ng local ordinance. Or sige, nag-file na ng ordinance yung counselor and nag-pass ng program si city vet, ayaw i-approve ni mayor. Para alam ng mga tao kung ano yung talaga yung mga role nito mga local government officials. Tama ba, attorney? Tama ba, Kong?
Tama. Correct.
Yun. So, it's very, very important. Hopefully talaga, because of this webinar, people now will understand anong pwedeng gawin. Again, if if your relatives or your friends with the city vet, if you know the mayor, probably baka pwede mo nang brasuhin yung mayor mo na, Mayor, baka pwede namang mag-allocate ka ng budget for spay and neuter. Kasi Potion Project or even all of the animal welfare groups all together, hindi po namin kakayain pumunta bawat city. Hindi po namin kaya na kausapin lahat ng mga city vet and mga mayor na mag-allocate. We're only here to spread awareness and hopefully ma-inspire nga sila. Pero hindi siya makakaya ng usap-usap lang. Kailangan talaga nilang upuan, kailangan mag-file ng local ordinance, kailangan mag-allocate ng budget for spay and neuter. And then ito very, very talaga to na concern. Yung about sa city pounds. And then sobrang sobrang dami yung mga mga nagrereklamo about city pounds nga na hindi maayos. And again, it was already addressed by Attorney Brian Lee earlier. Nakasama na siya sa House Resolution 206. Ano po yung pwede natin gawin? Like, for the current problems talaga na sa mga city pound, lalo na yung mga pound na so sobrang heartbreaking. I can go on and on talaga sa mga problema ng mga city pound. But what can we do for now, Kong?
Actually, once we will be able to meet the DILG, they'll be able to tell the local governments na ayusin naman nila yung pounds nila, because at the end of the day, yung mga pounds is still under the LGUs, which the DILG can actually tell them na ayusin nila and monitor them somehow, together with BAIC, of course, or the Bureau of Animal Industry.
And then, yun din siguro, since based on our experience, since sa pagpunta namin sa mga pounds, may mga pounds talaga na pinagbabawal yung pagkuha ng picture and mga videos. And I understand probably all of the other pounds na nagbabawal. Siguro na traumatized na sila sa ibang mga animal welfare advocates na nagbabash. So I think I also would like to take this opportunity to tell everybody na we understand po yung frustration ninyo. Pero siguro the more that you keep bashing, the more po na mahihirapan tayong lahat. Kasi sana if walang mga bashing and you talk to them nicely and sabihin sila na sana ganito, ganyan, baka i-allow kayo, di ba, na mag-take ng pictures and ng mga videos. Ang hirap kasi, yun nga, ang daming mga taong involved. But siguro, let's try to analyze every situation and see what we can do. Baka, like, kasi ako, I'm talking based on my experience when I went to one of the pounds here. And then, one of the pounds here in the country. Tapos, yun nga, may sign talaga, no photos and videos. And then, I just talked to the city pound and then the city vet and I explained to them na, I understand na, siguro na trauma na kayo. I understand that not all animal welfare advocates are true and are real. But we also have to recognize na siguro hindi din naman kasi talaga lahat ng mga nasa pound may compassion sa animals, di ba? Kaya kayo nababash, di ba? Kaya kayo nababash kasi kitang-kita ng mga tao na hindi naman talaga tama yung pagtitreat ng animals, or kitang-kita ng mga tao na mamatay na yung aso dyan sa loob ng pound kasi hindi pinapakain, di ba? So I think kailangan lang natin talaga mag-meet halfway. No, kailangan lang siguro, let's find a way for us to be able to meet halfway, talk to each other, explain to them na, yes, galit na galit po kaming animal welfare advocates sa inyo, but we're here to work with you. I personally would like to acknowledge lang talaga yung Parañaque na city vet. Grabe yung PVO, as in, ito kung in the middle of a crisis, meron silang mga online adoption drives, nagsispay and neuter sila. So, di ba, kaya naman pala. I mean, we need not wait for this House resolution na matapos to. We need not wait for the amendment of the law. Kaya naman, di ba, kausapin natin yung mga city vets natin. Iwasan muna natin yung pagbabash-bash kung gusto nyo talaga makipag-ugnayan sa mga city vet and sa mga local pounds. Siguro pag hindi na-actionan, we were able to talk to them, tas hindi pa talaga, then sige, by all means, may bash din na sila dyan para naman maggumalaw-galaw sila. But, I think siguro yun talaga. But, sige Kong, do you have any, ang daming, wait, let's try to get one question siguro from the comments. Wow, funny. Ito, not related to the topic, but may I ask, where is Miss Yassi Pressman? I mentioned na earlier, Yassi really would want to join. Kong, do you wanna speak for Yassi?
She has some shoots kasi in the morning, I think if I'm not mistaken, for TVC, but I'm not really sure. But she really wanted to be part of this, and as a matter of fact, nung shinare nga namin ni Malu kay Yassi, she was very excited. And I think she has more than 4 dogs right now.
Yeah. Yassi really wanted to join. She also sent a message to the page. Although, yun nga, syempre, kailangan din natin magtrabaho lahat. But we're very grateful. The fact that she said yes. Such an honor to us already. So, ayun may nag-comment din, Parañaque has the best pound. Sa mga ibang pounds dyan, ayun di bang sabihin na best pound kayo? Sige Kong, do you have any message to all of our viewers, all of the animal welfare advocates, lahat ng mga Kong, ang dami mo ng fans ha. What's your message to everybody? Most especially like we have this week-long celebration of International Homeless Animals Day.
Again, we're very happy to be part of Potion Project, and it's Malu and Potion Project. You're a blessing to this country. Hindi naman kaya ng isang tao to, but dapat magsama-sama tayo as what you're saying. Tulong-tulong tayo. Everyone has their own part to do, and eventually we'll go somewhere pag nagtulong-tulong tayo. And again, I would like to thank you and the whole team. And just to share something, lahat po ng kasama sa office natin are animal lovers, dog lovers. Lahat po kami talagang supportive. Thank you very much for this chance, and thank you for the opportunity too. Thank you, Malu.
Thank you also, Kong. Attorney, you have any messages? Baka pwede mong i-inspire the other lawyers also to look into the Animal Welfare Act. Kasi diba, we really need more lawyers. And then, ito, since naisip ko na, we're grateful to Kong Ronnie and his team kasi we're gonna be starting yung Potion Project na legal squad. So, thank you. Sobrang overwhelmed kami. Ang daming nag-message. So, you just give us time to finish the International Homeless Animals Day na celebration. And then we'll get back to all of you. We'll contact you and hopefully we can already start meeting. Let's see what we can do, especially on the legal side. Probably kahit mag-assist lang dun sa mga gustong mag-file ng cases. Again, as mentioned, all of us, kahit may legal squad, na Potion Project Legal Squad, kahit may Kong Ronnie, may Attorney Brian, Attorney Joseph, hindi po talaga hindi uusad yung kaso pag walang witness. It really has to start with you. You have to be, kailangan yung panindigan. And of course, well, we're praying and we're hoping na sana nga mas strengthen na talaga yung Animal Welfare Act, na ma-implement na properly para hindi nga matakot yung mga witness. Para talaga yung tuloy-tuloy yung pag-file nila kasi alam nila na ma-actionan. Then hello din dyan sa mga PNP. Baka naman pwede i-help nyo talaga kami na ma-implement. Sige, Attorney Brian, you have any message?
Yes, una yung about doon nga sa mga natatakot na it's real, kagaya nga ng sabi ni Attorney Acuna kanina. Natatakot talaga yung mga witness, but there's that really rule na kung sino ang naka-witness, siya talaga. Yung kung kami nanonood lang kami nung I saw the video yung sa Cagayan de Oro, is parang nanonood lang ako ng documentary, but I'm not really the witness. So it's really the witness ang kailangan. And para hindi matakot siguro, one of the things that we can do, yung mga na-deputize na mga police and NBI, we can really look at it kung sino sila, they're properly trained, and para may partner din po yung mga witness para hindi rin po sila matakot. And thank you for mentioning pala yung sa Parañaque na na pound. If it's the best pound for some of our viewers ngayon, one of the goal kasi ng HR 206 is to promote yung mga best practices. So we can look at that and tell other cities, first-class cities and municipalities to really copy whatever is being done in other jurisdiction. So yun po. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe Kong, in the future, we can request all of the other people in Congress to work with us. And then baka pwedeng magka-budget na, yun nga, mag-incentivize siguro sa mga best pounds with best practices para naman ma-inspire pa sila. Siguro if we have more pounds na promoting spay and neuter, baka pwede silang bigyan ng extra budget since ayaw ng ibang pounds
awards
gawin yun, diba? Oo, siguro, I think parang parang yun din siguro yung culture of Pinoy na we work better pag na-incentivize and na-recognize tayo. Then if that's what will work for us, then yeah, let's try to do it siguro, no?
Okay.
So again, Kong, Attorney Brian, thank you for spending your evening with us. Sorry if ang daming mga concerns, ang daming questions. Ito din ha, FYI, yung mga nagme-message sa page ni Kong Ronnie para magpa-rescue, wala po silang rescuers. So yes, of course, you can send them a message to ask for assistance. But like we mentioned earlier, para mabilis ma-actionan, then you tap na whoever is within your area. And kayo, baka kaya nyo din kunin na wag niyo pong i-bombard yung page ni Kong for rescuing kasi they're not rescuers. They're here to help and guide us. Again, siguro, maybe, and at the end of the day, they'll forward it to us. Yun, Kong, Ronnie, and team will always be there to help us in sa legal side and everything. But yun, again, let's always remember that we should also do our part and that we can always do something then. So, thank you, Kong. Thank you, Attorney Brian, for
Welcome.
spending your
Thank you.
evening with us. Sobrang insightful. Maybe we can collate more of the very relevant na comments and concerns of our followers. And then we'll try to study. Baka pwede nating include and i-bring up din sa hearing. Hopefully talaga, Kong, no, magka-hearing na
Yeah, we
soon.
will.
Yeah. Ay, nako, we will hold on to that. Alam namin si Kong, mabalis talaga. Lalo na ito, ang daming nanonood. So, babalikan ka talaga ko. Kailan ng hearing?
We will.
Thank you, Kong. We
Thank
won't
you,
take so
thank
much
you.
of your time
Welcome.
anymore, Attorney. Thank
Good
you
evening,
very
welcome.
much.
Thank
Good
you.
evening po sa
Yes.
inyo
Good
lahat.
evening.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
evening. Eto, so, before we end, Yasi sent us a very special message also. So, yun, sorry to all of Yasi's fans waiting for her. She really wanted to join us tonight, but then she has a taping. But we're very grateful. She sent us a message. So, yeah, siguro hopefully kahit ito na lang will help appease all of Yasi's fans watching us.
Hi everyone, this is Yasi Pressman and I support Passion Project. There are so many of us that give so much love, care, and attention to our pet animals, and we really treat them like they're our babies. But unfortunately, there are still so many stray animals out there. Dogs and cats that do not get the love that they deserve. Some of them also become victims of hit and run. So I want to say thank you to Passion Project for rescuing these animals and giving them an opportunity to find a new home and get the love that they deserve. Thank you, Passion Project. Please continue your good work.
Naka-mute ako. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Julia. Na-carried away ako kay Yasi. Sorry. Again, Yasi, thank you. Thank you for, alam namin sobrang busy ka, but thank you for sending your well wishes. Thank you also for joining us in this fight for the animals. Can you hear me na ba? Can everyone hear me already or not yet? Naka-mute pa rin ba? Okay na ba? Ayun, okay, rinig na. Sorry. Again, my disclaimer, we're not professional streamers. But anyway, yun. I was saying earlier na in behalf of the whole Passion Project team, in behalf of, all of the animal welfare advocates, thank you to all of the celebrities. Thank you to all of the, influencers who help us and use their platform to be the voice of the voiceless. Thank you, Yasi. We know you're very, very busy, but still you took time to be a part of tonight's webinar. Thank you for, for helping us raise awareness. Again, it's not just Yasi, but we still have a lot of nag-grow na po yung mga celebrities na gumagamit ng platform nila to speak for the voiceless and all of the influencers. And I also would like to take this opportunity to siguro to, to ask help from all the other mga pet lovers, animal celebrities with pets, celebrities or animal lovers. please help us and use your platform to be the voice for the voiceless. Kasi sobrang dami po talaga ng mga animals yung nangangailangan ng tulong ngayon. Like I mentioned earlier, parang dumoble ata yung mga animal cruelty cases nitong pandemic. Again, as I mentioned, I think dahil nga gutom yung mga tao, aburido, and yung iba nga wala na din makain, so they resort to dog meat. It's so heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking, but when you try to analyze things, ang hirap din kasi minsan siguro pag andun ka nga sa lugar ng mga tao na wala na nga silang makain. It's very heartbreaking. Ang daming problema kailangan i-address. So, help us. Help us get the message across, most especially to more people in office. Again, we're very grateful that we have Kong Ronnie, who continuously help us be heard. Kasi again, Potion Project is just an NGO. We cannot lobby laws. We're not also the justice system. We cannot put someone in prison pag nakita namin na pinatay niya yung aso. We're not the police, so we cannot arrest yung mga suspects na nire-report sa amin. But I really hope that you all were able to you all were inspired to do your part, most especially after tonight's webinar. Ang daming mga basic stuff na nalinaw na ni Attorney Joseph and Attorney Brian. Please pray for us. Pray for Kong Ronnie. Pray for the House resolution na finally mag-move forward na talaga tayo. Because again, we'll say it again and again, we already have the Animal Welfare Act. The Philippines has more than enough laws already. It's really just the implementation, it's the enforcement that's the problem. So, again, we hope that tonight's webinar was able to open your eyes and mas naintindihan natin like ano talaga yung process. And ito din, let's continue to pray for, the people who are really deputized to act on the reports, on all of these cases. Let's pray for them that, God will touch their hearts na sana talaga ma-actionan na. Because again, these animals are just but living beings like us. Ginawa din naman sila ni Lord. No one's really above anyone. They deserve to live as much as we deserve to live in this planet. Let's always choose to be kind. Let's always choose to be kind to these animals. Again, to all of those who report to our page, we apologize if we cannot accommodate all of the cases because, Potion Project is a very small team. We don't get any government corporate funding. Of course, we're very grateful to the people who continue to support us, but most especially right now in the middle of the crisis, everyone's having a hard time. Kahit po kami, Potion Project, we're already having a hard time trying to sustain our needs. Especially we have more than 200 rescues. We still have the daily stray feeding program. We ourselves hirap din po kami, but we continue to stay strong because of all of your words of encouragement, because of all of your prayers, and most especially because of all of these animals who continuously need our help. We will always strive to do the best that we can, but remember that we really cannot do this on our own. We need all of you to help us. We have to work together for the voiceless. And siguro, I'd like to take this opportunity to call on, all of my fellow animal welfare advocates, all of the other animal welfare groups, the rescuers, shelter owners. It's really high time that we have to work together. It's high time that, we continue to use our platform, our voice for these animals. Kasi hindi po natin kakayanin pag mag-individual efforts tayo, hindi po natin kakayanin pag, we'll brush off the efforts of another group or ayaw natin makipag-collaborate or makipag-tap with all the other groups. It's high time that we work together for these animals. because again, we cannot do this on our own. Most importantly, ito mga animals, mas lalong din nila kakayanin ng sila because yun nga, they really cannot go to they cannot go to the police to ask for help pag may nag-aabuso sa kanila. They cannot buy food for them pag nagugutom sila. That's why, ito na, this Sunday will be the finale, the grand finale of our week-long celebration for International Homeless Animals Day. And I am very, very grateful. Overwhelmed pa rin po ako na sobrang daming mga artists yung yes. Of course, thank you. Thank you to Gaucha. Thank you to Alex Godinez for helping me, tap all of these artists. Martin Rivera, grabe. I still cannot believe myself. Martin Rivera said yes. We also have Inigo Pascual, Leila Alcacid, Bugoy Drelon. Ilan sila? 22 artists. Marcos Patterson, Lance Busa, Tito Dos Santos. Who else? We have more. Gab Pangilinan, Miguel Mendoza, Kayla Rivera. And then we also have my favorite, ako mismo, gabi nung nag-yes pa lang si Moira, sobrang saya ko na. And if only the animals can speak, siguro nag-rejoice din sila. So, Moira and Jason, thank you very much for saying yes to perform for our online concert for a cause. Gio Levy, RJ De La Fuente, Kyler. We also have local artists performing this Sunday. Kokoy Baldo from Bacolod, one of our pride. Franz Arcelia is a Hong Kong Disney princess, so she'll also sing for us. We also have Sam Hashimoto performing this Sunday. And who else? We have more. We have Jojo Robles, who's also a local here from Bacolod, from The Voice also. Angelica Prado from The Voice also. And Yana Laurel. So, and we have two more. We have Vera and Bianca Yuzon. They're all gonna be performing for us this Sunday. So please block your calendars. 8 p.m. this Sunday. Unsung stories will be told by several artists. We have more special guests. Hi, Diyos ko Lord, grabe. I'm so overwhelmed that these people said yes performing for the voiceless animals. See, all of them have pets as well. And I guess this is really why hindi talaga sila nagdalawang isip. So, thank you for spending your evening with us. I hope that, one way or another, it has educated all of those na may mga tanong pa na hindi clear sa kanila kung ano yung gagawin. Sana talaga, we can all just come together and work together for the voiceless animals. If you have any concerns, may mga tanong, you can rewatch all of our webinars. It's still just gonna be here on our Facebook page. And please like and subscribe our YouTube channel so that we can finally monetize. And, you can help us with our daily expenses in the shelter and then all the rescue operations. Yes, it's good that we see you guys here on Facebook, but please, sana marami din nanonood sa YouTube. Will really need us for us to be able to monetize. What else? Tomorrow, tomorrow is the online adoption drive. We have something very, very special happening tomorrow, so please stay tuned. We will be posting about it, and I'm very, very excited about it. One of our rescues is going home to his forever home tomorrow, and again, I cannot be more excited about it. So tomorrow is gonna be an online adoption drive and adoption 101. A lot of you have been messaging us already concerning adoption. So please, join us tomorrow for our celebration again. For a week-long celebration of International Homeless Animals Day. And we still have more events coming up. On the 19th, we'll have a live art. So yung mga gusto dyan na magpa-paint ng mga alaga nila, then maybe you can start sending us a message already. On the 20th, will be a very, very helpful episode sa lahat-lahat. Ang daming nagme-message sa Potion Project, nagtatanong anong gagawin pag ganting case ng pet nila. Sinisipon, may main siya nang gagawin. We'll have one of our volunteer vets, Doc Jazz, join us for the webinar, which will be about pet rehabilitation and the reason why there are animal shelters. On the 21st, we'll be talking about volunteering. Ang dami din nagme-message, and again, we're very overwhelmed. We're just very sorry if we cannot attend to all of your messages kasi nga, again, we're a very, very small team of volunteers, and medyo busy talaga kami this week for the International Homeless Animals Day. Hopefully, we can get back to all of you already by Monday. But yun, if you want to know more about volunteering for Potion Project, please join us sa webinar natin on the 21st about Volunteering 101. We'll be joined by one of our very active and supportive talaga ng mga volunteers, Karen. She was the one who made the Potion Project na filter on Instagram. And then also we'll have more volunteers joining us to talk to you more about volunteering. And then on the 22nd, we're still praying and hoping na sana mag-push through. We're just waiting for the approval. But when everything's set already, we will be having a free spay and neuter event on the 22nd. Kung hindi man po mahabol, we'll make sure that we'll have a free spay and neutering event latest next week. But yeah, we're crossing our fingers and we're praying na maayos lahat. So we can announce already the free spay and neuter program on Saturday. And we'll have a vet also speak to you about the importance of it, and yung sa may mga skeptical about spay and neutering, we'll have the vet address your concerns. And of course, on Sunday, the 23rd, the last day of our week-long celebration of the International Homeless Animals Day, save the date, 8 p.m. We will be live here on our Facebook page and the YouTube channel for the benefit concert for the homeless animals and of course our rescues. And please, yun, sa dami ng concerns about animal cruelty, if you really want us to be heard, again, di po kaya ng Potion Project lang, di kaya ni Kong Ronnie lang. We really need more people, most especially in office, to take action. So please, sign the petition. We're still far from our goal. And ano tayo ngayon? Ilang signatures na tayo? Maybe we can check kung nakakailang signatures na tayo for the petition. This is a race to 1 million. Race to 1 million signatures. So we're definitely far from our goal. So please, if you want if you want us to be heard, if you want more people in office to help us in this in this journey and this battle for the homeless animals and the strays, please sign the petition. You can visit our website, potionproject.ph, for the petition. Wait, let's check. Baka meron tayong info. 35,000. Nasa 35,000 pa lang tayo na signature. So far from the 1 million na goal. Potion Project now here on Facebook, siguro almost 100,000 followers na tayo. So kahit 1,000 lang, 1,000 followers lang, and then tag one friend. And then tell them talaga to sign the petition. 1 million signatures na yon. It's not hindi siya ganun kahirap i-achieve if only we will put our compassion into action. So please, sign the petition. Let's also always strive to do our part. Yun nga yung sabi namin. Siguro assignment nito lahat. Assignment of everyone this week. Please go to your LGU na mga units. Go to your city vet, go to, top people from the LGU, and ask them to, inspire them and motivate them to come up with more programs on a local basis. Huwag na natin antayin. Of course, we're praying and we're hoping na finally mapasa na yung House Resolution. And I heard also AKF, meron na din existing. So, kahit it doesn't matter kung kaninong resolution or kaninong plea in Congress yung mauna. We all just hope for that day na finally ma-implement na properly, finally ma-put into prison na talaga yung mga animal abusers, na finally the LGUs will really allocate budgets. Yun talaga. We all have to work together and let's continue to pray for each other. Power share. Power share nga to, sabi ng volunteers namin here. Katie, Renee, Yvonne, my brother Philip here helping me out with the streaming. Let's all work together. Thank you everybody. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Thank you again, Kong Ronnie and team. Thank you, Attorney Brian. Thank you, Attorney Joseph, for all of the insightful na mga information talaga na na-share mo sa amin. In behalf of the whole Passion Project team, thank you everybody. Let's all continue to work together for the voiceless animals. And like we always say, in a world where we can be anything, let us always choose to be kind. So, thank you everybody. Have a good night. Yun sa mga nagwo-worry din, don't worry, the regular strays here, they still get to be fed. So I asked lang my brother to mag-sub muna siya for me this week para mapakain. So again, thank you everybody, and please continue to support us. Donate if you can. It is through all of your donations that we're able to continue this good cause. It is through your donations that we're able to feed more stray animals. It is because of your donations that we're able to rehabilitate. Singat ko na lang din. Please help us, yung cattery natin na project, because we already have, around 40 or more rescued cats at the shelter. We really need the cattery already. So, you can donate in cash or in kind. And please continue to pray for us. We really suffer emotionally every day, but we're definitely sure that because of your prayers kung bakit makakaya pa po namin. So again, thank you everybody. Let's continue to work for the voice, continue to be the voice of the voices. And again, Sunday 8 p.m. Let's all join together to listen to all of the beautiful voices of these talented artists as they sing for the voices. So good night everybody. Let's stay kind. Let's stay kind and please continue to support Passion Project.